Baby Emanuel Harrow, just 7 months old, has become the focus of national headlines. His parents, Jake and Rebecca Harrow, have now been arrested in connection with his death. But the more we look into their past, especially Jake's troubling criminal record, the more unsettling the story becomes. The pressing question is clear. Given what we now know about his history, how was Jake Harrow ever allowed custody of baby Emanuel? This is not only the story of one child, it is also about a system that raises difficult questions. Were warning signs ignored? Were failures made along the way? And could this tragedy have been prevented? The case becomes even more troubling when you learn that this is not the first time Jake Harrow has been accused of harming a child. In 2018, a 10-week-old baby girl, reportedly Emanuel's half-sister from Jake's previous relationship with a woman named Vanessa, sustained catastrophic injuries while in Jake's care. Court records and reporting from outlets such as VVNG, journalist Abby Escobar, and News Nation reveal chilling details. The infant suffered multiple fractured ribs, a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and even a fractured leg bone. Doctors told police the extent of her injuries indicated severe abuse and nutritional neglect. At first, Jake claimed he had dropped the child. Later, he tried to shift blame to Vanessa, citing a suspicious search on her iPad. How to feed a baby with broken ribs. Regardless, both Jake and Vanessa pleaded guilty to willful child cruelty. The baby girl survived but was left permanently disabled, blind, unable to walk or talk. A relative who later adopted her said doctors believed she might not live even a week. In her words, the child was practically killed. Despite this, Jake's punishment was shockingly light. He received just 6 months in jail through a work release program, a 4-year suspended sentence, and mandatory child abuse treatment. He was free within months. The same cousin who adopted the injured girl also took custody of another child, Jake's son, reportedly born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Vanessa, his mother, was cited for multiple DUIs during her pregnancy. Meanwhile, even as the search for Emanuel began, Child Protective Services removed another young child, Jake and Rebecca's 2-year-old, from their home. Whether this was directly tied to abuse or simply because authorities anticipated an arrest is unclear. What is certain is that multiple children around this couple were already at risk. Adding to the disturbing backdrop, reports surfaced that Jake was on probation for his 2023 conviction, while simultaneously facing new felony charges for possessing firearms and ammunition as a convicted felon and narcotics addict. He had pleaded not guilty, and a court hearing was pending. As if the family history were not already alarming, Rebecca's brother, James Boozhausen, is currently serving a 50-year sentence for murdering his girlfriend in 2017. Though unrelated, it paints a picture of troubling associations. Before their arrests, Rebecca Harrow claimed Emanuel had been kidnapped. According to her, she was outside a Big Five sporting goods store only 20 minutes from their home when she was struck by an unknown man while changing Emanuel's diaper. She said she awoke with a black eye, and Emanuel was gone. Jake, meanwhile, was at a nearby park with their other children. Both parents pleaded publicly for Emanuel's safe return. Jake begged, "Whoever took my son, please return him. Keep him safe. Don't hurt him. Feed him and change him." Rebecca tearfully added, "Please bring my son back. I'm begging you." But investigators quickly noted inconsistencies. No witnesses confirmed the alleged attack. Surveillance footage and cell phone records raised doubts. Eventually, Rebecca stopped cooperating with police. Authorities searched the Harrow home, seized their phones, and even brought Jake, dressed in an orange prison jumpsuit, into a remote field with cadaver dogs. Despite this, Emanuel's body has not yet been found. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office has confirmed the investigation continues. Legal experts are now asking, how did this couple retain custody of Emanuel despite Jake's past conviction. Attorney Joe Richardson explains that Child Protective Services generally cannot remove children based solely on a parent's criminal history. There must be a new report, evidence of abuse, or a court order. Parents retain constitutional rights to raise their children, and removing them requires substantial legal justification. But this raises critical concerns. Should Jake's prior abuse conviction have triggered stricter oversight? Should CPS have investigated further? And if evidence emerges that red flags were ignored, could CPS face accountability for failing to act? The tragedy shines a spotlight on the limitations of Child Protective Services. Laws emphasize family reunification and parental rights. Even poverty, homelessness, or unusual parenting practices do not constitute grounds for removal. Without fresh reports or evidence, children can remain in potentially dangerous environments. In this case, Jake received minimal punishment for an earlier act of abuse, 6 months in jail when the law allowed up to 6 years. There were no restrictions preventing him from being around other children. Emanuel was not even born at the time of that conviction. By law, nothing stopped Jake from raising him. This reflects a painful truth. Until systemic reforms are made, children remain vulnerable. Advocates argue that laws need to strike a better balance between protecting parental rights and ensuring child safety. At the time of this report, Emanuel's remains have not been found. Authorities continue to investigate, and anyone with information is urged to come forward. Emanuel is described as approximately 24 inches tall, weighing around 21 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes, and cross-eyed. He was last seen in a black Nike onesie. This is a case that has left communities shaken, investigators searching for answers, and the public demanding accountability. More than anything, it is a devastating reminder of what is at stake when systems fail to protect the most vulnerable.